Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Young here, and today I'm back in our Fortnite video. In today's video, I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks when it comes to solo squads. And as well, in this gameplay, I have a pretty insane 26 kill gameplay here for solo squads. So I'm going to be talking over my gameplay and give you guys some tips and tricks as well to help you guys win more solo squad games and overall just to win more games in Fortnite. And before we get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway. If you guys want a chance to win some free V-Bucks, all you need to do is to drop a like on this video, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on my notifications, and leave a comment down below of your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account. And as well, if you guys don't already, make sure you guys have me added and supported as a creator. It's super simple to do. All you need to do is go to the item shop, then just tap X and hit support a creator, and then type in my code. It's the same as my gamer tag. Just type in Young Humor and you will have me added and supported as a creator. And alright guys, let's get right to the video. Alright, so like I said, this is a 26 kill game of solo squads, and right at the start of the game, I didn't show it, but I did get a knock with the scoped AR. I killed someone at the building that was directly across from me, so I get a kill on that guy, and you guys are about to see something insane. I kid you not, I drop an entire team with the gray tac, probably arguably one of the worst weapons in this game. Just because I feel like the tac shotgun has absolutely no range and I hit for pretty much minimum damage every single shot. So unless I have a pump shotgun in squad games, I'm probably going to die off spawn if I'm running into multiple people. But for this squad in particular, I somehow destroyed their entire team with it. So you guys are about to see I'm going across the garage and I'm going to see an entire team that's going to be coming from Trump. I have the first guy who comes in. I knock him with a headshot of 87. I go for the finish right away. And of course his teammates are going to be pushing. 3 shots on that player, knock him. The third player came in, headshot that guy, and the fourth player got headshotted as well. So I just dropped that team so quickly with the great tac. And honestly, when it comes to solo versus squads, as opposed to solos or even duos, you have to be really careful about being in the open, especially in that early game when you're not going to have a lot of materials. And luckily, I did have like 300 or maybe even 400 materials right here. But a lot of times, if you go to the middle of the street or the middle of the open in a game of squads, it's really going to be very difficult to get out of it because you're going to have a lot of players pushing you at the exact same time. And I know that can sound kind of obvious, but a lot of players don't do it. And the main reason why is because basically in duos or even in solos, you can really get away with it. Because if you're running through the middle of the street, I mean, maybe 1-2 people at absolute most are going to be shooting at you. But in a game of squads, if you're getting rushed up by a team, that's 4 people. And if there happens to be 2 teams, it could be 5 or 6 people. And having no materials is just going to be really, really bad. So you definitely have to play advantages, keeping on high ground. And that's exactly what you see me do here. I was in the plane and I saw another team pushing in, so I immediately went for a high ground on top, and then from up top I got as many shots as I possibly could. And if you guys didn't see, these 2 players hit each other on the zip line. This guy got knocked and his teammate was camping right underneath, so I knock him and then I get the finish on the other guy. And honestly, the only reason why I jumped down, otherwise I would have stayed on high ground, is because I knew that all of them came down. Otherwise, I would have to stay up, because if I try to go down to try to finish off a player or 2, what's going to happen every single time is the guy on top is just going to spam me just time after time again from the top. And I'm not going to be able to do too much because I'm going to get spammed by AR, no deagle, or whatever the case may be, whatever guns they have. So in most cases, if you have high ground no matter what, you always want to try to keep the high ground for as long as possible until they force you off of it. That's honestly one of the best tips I can give you guys, because you're really going to get screwed over if you don't. And right here, I used a launch pad to go for high ground because I don't know if you guys could hear, there was quite a bit of people that were around me. So I just decided to get better positioning, and then from the better positioning, if the 2 teams were fighting, it was going to be really, really easy to go for the kills, just because they'd been fighting each other and I would have high ground the entire time. So right here, they did end up getting the kills, so it's just the last 2 players that are camping in the box, which I didn't really know at the time because I was still looking around if there was any other teams, because I knew they were healing up in this box, but I didn't know if there was some other team camping on high ground or whatever. So I try to go for the quick deagle pump shot, and usually it works, but right here I choked my shot. I accidentally switched the wrong weapon when I went for the shot. And at this point, I'm like, screw it. These guys are going to be pushing really hard. So I'm going to go for a high ground. And really, to be honest with you guys, just keeping high ground is so important. For the main reason is, and especially in a game like squads when they have multiple teammates, as long as you keep high ground, they're going to be constantly trying to push up. Most of the time, they're not going to be just camping low. And so you're basically going to be able to get a lot of easy kills, because once you're on high ground and people try to build up, they're going to have a lot of themselves exposed. And that's exactly what happened to the player I just killed. He was basically trying to build up and I was already on high ground. And just because I had that already high ground advantage, I basically all I had to do was look down, get a shot, and I just placed my floor and then went down and finished him off. So luckily I actually came across a team that was just building and placing a launch pad, so a really easy triple kill right there. That's honestly really lucky. It shouldn't have happened. So I get the triple kill on that player, so I just had to kill the last player in that squad. And say they weren't building up, I otherwise would have just kept running. I wouldn't have fought that team, basically because the storm was pretty much all the way over here. So if I would have tried to fight that team and I didn't kill him quickly, I was going to get really screwed over by the storm. So a lot of times there's a lot of players that you want to fight, but you can't fight everyone just because of positioning reasons. And if you're going against a team who already has pretty big high ground, they're camping in bases, you're going to have to get a little creative, and as well you're going to have to find a way to get up to them without getting absolutely spammed. Because if you see a full squad and they're looking down at you from high ground, you already know that every single one of the players is going to have an M16 out, a SCAR out, and a Deagle, maybe even RPG, just absolutely unloading on you. So in that case, you have to be very careful when it comes to rushing teams that are already on high ground. So the best way to do it really is if you have a launch pad, you can launch up in the hill, or maybe just not even challenge the team at all, wait for them to fight another team, and then go for a third party. So basically in squads, like I said in previous videos, you're going to find a lot more players in a squad game than you are in, I would say, a duo or a solo game. And this really is a choke for a 30 bomb. I couldn't find people for the longest time. I had 21 kills with 18 left, and I couldn't find, I got the kill on this player, and then I couldn't find anybody for legit 2.5 minutes. It really should have been a pretty easy 30 bomb, but I completely choked because I couldn't find players for the longest time. I thought there was going to be people up on Viking Hill, because if you look at the zone, a lot of the times people are going to be on that high ground that's just enough to be in the zone. So I went up to the Viking Hill and there was absolutely nobody on it. So that was really unlucky on my part when it comes to finding players. And these players right here were both one shot shooting at the player above, and the player above you guys didn't see because I cut it out, but I was trying to fight this player for a good solid 2.5 to 3 minutes. I made him so one shot, but he kept boxing up. I tried to RPG spam him, and long story short, I decided to launch away because I was getting spammed by the team over here. And honestly, if I would have gotten the kill on that player, it would have been a 28 kill game because I made the guy one shot like 3 times, and then eventually he's going to get a snipe on one of the players from this team. So really unlucky on that part, but it is what it is. And one thing you're going to notice here, how the zone is about to be coming in, and I'm not quite in the zone. And for the reason is, this right here is basically a really good high ground that I can get shots on the other player. And if I were just to rotate to the next zone early, what's going to happen is I'm going to have that solo that I didn't kill from earlier just spam me constantly with his sniper rifle, and as well the 3 players from this team are going to be spamming me as well. But what I saw is these 3 players were rotating to the next zone, so I went for their high ground and their base to try to get shots on them. And the reason why I did is because I had a launch pad, so I can wait out the zone as long as possible, and I was able to get a knock in the process. But honestly, what's going to happen in a lot of games is you're going to have to go to the next zone. And the thing about the next zone, what's going to happen is the next zone is going to be on low ground, which in an in-game, especially against squads, is not the place you want to be. But if you have a launch pad, you can pretty much just wait out the zone and keep the high ground for as long as possible, which is exactly what I did there when I had the base. So the player from earlier that I couldn't kill, he got a knock on one of the players that was trying to shoot at me, which honestly is one of those things that I didn't want to happen because I had so many kills, and I had some pretty bad boom. I got 1 tag on him right there, and I think I'm going to be able to get another tag on him as well. And you guys are about to see when I'm going to shoot at this player on my left, I'm going to be putting up a ramp right in front of me, just so when I go for the shots on the player to my left, the guy who was on top isn't going to be able to have a shot on me as well. And of course, the guy that I should have had killed a long time ago that was really weak, he ended up getting killed by the player from the other team. And basically, I was just sitting back because I wanted the other guy to go for the revive on the player so I could drop 27 kills. So I was just waiting for him to go for the revive, and I would have let him get it. But for whatever reason, this is the first time that I've seen a less killed player honestly just never go for a revive. Honestly, a first for me. So right here, I'm just going to push over to the zone. At this point, I know he isn't going to go for the revive. So I'm being careful just because he has an RPG, and I don't want him to just suicide himself or just to shoot me off and then I die to fall damage. And if it's a 1v1 against a guy with an RPG, going for a high ground probably isn't going to be the best thing to do, or at least right away, because they're just going to shoot you down with the RPG. So staying about the same level with them is going to be your best bet. And so here I'm just trying to push over to the zone, and I cuck myself by a tree, and so here I'm taking a lot of damage. At this point I was like, I better not choke this game. So right here he starts going over to the mountain, which is a good play by him, but he's gonna have to come down. He shoots an RPG at me. I'm just spam building, and at this point I might as well go for a push on this player because otherwise he's gonna RPG spam me. So I'm just trying to get this player down. He's right in front of me. He jumps into the storm, and I was able to finish him off with my pump. So it was a really good 26 kill game. It honestly should have been a 30 if I could have found a team within those 3 minutes time, but it is what it is. And so anyways, with that being said, that's a wrap up for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys liked it, and if you guys could, drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on my notifications to be notified for every single new video. And alright guys, I'll see you next video.